So I think this video is super important, okay? SoFi stock is dropping through the ground right now, down a little over 40% in just 1 month. They're getting their butt kicked because SoftBank, the biggest holder of SoFi stock, was selling their shares at around $22 a share. Chamath Palihapitiya from Social Capital actually started selling his shares, around 15% of his stake, at around $21 a share. And just an overall healthy amount of fear in the fintech space whenever it comes to rising inflation rates. Well, it's not exactly the inflation that we're worried about, but it's the rising rates whenever they actually go to combat that inflation. That's what we're really scared of. Yet despite all the short-term pressures of a stock falling, these do lead for great opportunities, and we have to remember the fundamentals of the company. So first off, whenever we look at like total member growth, for example, we see that they grew their members to 2.9 million users, which is actually up 96% year over year or 35% quarter over quarter. Their total products grew to 4.3 million users, which was actually up 108%, which the majority of that was actually in their investing services, where they saw their SoFi Money and SoFi Invest actually grow 179% year over year. And with that, about two really cool statistics stand out to me, okay? So one would be cost per member. This is the amount that it actually takes to acquire these customers, and yet that actually went down because the way that we were acquiring customers mainly in this last quarter were through low-cost vehicles like referrals. And secondly, SoFi saw the highest amount of cross-buying that they've ever seen in any of their quarters was last quarter. Okay, this means that if anyone goes to get, like, let's say a SoFi Money account, okay, a little savings account for them for a little bit of interest rate, that's what they like. And then they find out that SoFi actually does lending. Okay, well, let's go over to that product as well. So yes, we actually got them in the door with one product, but then they actually get to see a wider selection of our products. SoFi is learning how to do that at such an amazing scale and getting clients not only for the original reason why they signed up, but for multiple reasons after that. And funny enough, whenever we actually look at average revenue per user on SoFi's actual lending products, we see that they're growing at about twice the rate at which they're acquiring new customers. For example, the amount of revenue that we got from the actual lending products went up around 30% year over year versus the amount of new existing clients went up around 15% year over year. So we're learning how to monetize these lending products at about twice the speed as we are at acquiring new customers. And not to mention that it just wasn't a great quarter for a lot of our lending products, and yet that's going to get a lot better for, certain products like student loans. And with Joe Biden's student debt relief plan, there actually wasn't a whole lot to grow with because people weren't worried about their actual refinancing of their student loans because they didn't have to pay any interest. But come February 1st, that's actually stopping, and for Q1 of SoFi for 2022, we should see a massive improvement of that whenever people go back into school, everything like this, back into paying their bills, that they're going to look for new options, and SoFi has some of the lowest rates. But I want you to think about this because this is a really cool idea. SoFi has been going after the age range of around 25 to 40, okay, the millennial age, which actually has the most amount of student loan debt. But now we're going to take these people that we actually just got on our customer base because we got them in SoFi Money and SoFi Invest and all these other, financial services products. And now come February 1st that they are going to have to start repaying these bills and they're going to look for cheaper options. And SoFi knows this, okay? So they're going to be plugging the ability to actually say, hey, we'll take on your loans, we'll refinance it for you and give you a better rate. This is going to lead up, the amount of cross-buying that's going to happen, and they have a proven track record that they're amazing at cross-selling. So if they're able to do that, they are going to pick up these products, and we're going to take what was once, not so fast of a growing product, but is actually our high margin products, is going to go through the roof in Q1 of 2022. Just think about it. On a stock that actually went down, 40% in the last month. And not to mention on the technology platform side of things with their subsidiary Galileo, their Galileo accounts actually grew by 80% year over year. And this was off of a strong quarter last year, which actually grew 130% year over year. So you're growing 130% and then an additional 80% on top of that year. If you don't know what Galileo is or what they do for SoFi, you can check out here or down in the description down below for the 32 reasons for why I'm buying SoFi stock. Back to the fundamentals. But actually, first, I just want to make sure that you guys understand how important this video is to me and why it should be important to you as well, especially if you hold the company, right? It's really great, especially if you've bought in at a higher price, to really understand why you bought it. I know I said this before in the video, but I really want to stress that point. It's great to go back over the fundamentals of why you're buying the company, to continue to hold on to it so then you don't lose on a stock that might actually into the long term make you a lot of money. See, unlike the other fintech companies that rent all of their licenses to be able to use their services, SoFi doesn't. They own all 50 of their licenses in 50 different states. It's way harder to get these things, to get the ability to hold all these money or crypto licenses or everything like this. It's all way too much, but they've done it. It's already done. So if there was a time to be worried about SoFi, it was way before they've actually cranked out all of this hard work. Now the heavy lifting's done, right? Especially once we get the bank charter. That's the last part, right? But we're going after that bank. We've done all this, the right things, buying the subsidiaries, going through the proper precautions, and just doing the hard work that they're used to doing to get the long-term benefits of making SoFi the next big player. You know what I think is truly the funniest thing about SoFi stock going down is the fact that whenever you look at PayPal or Zoom or DocuSign or any of these companies that have actually taken big dips, just like SoFi has, is that they actually lowered guidance for the last quarters, right? People get worried that the future of those companies are not going to be what they said they were just a couple years ago. SoFi actually raised their fiscal guidance for, 2021, saying that this last quarter is actually going to be better than they expected from, just a quarter ago. And then for 2022, they expect that their revenue is going to go even further to around $1.5 billion in revenue, which is actually going to lead up, their amount of projected growth by a little over 50%. That's even faster growth rates than what we've seen in Q3, and Q3 was a blowout quarter. You have to remember that whenever stocks are high, right, you're holding more risk in the company because it has a higher chance of going down in that market cap. But sometimes people get scared because the actual price of the stock is low, but really you should look at that as being less risky. The lower it is, the lower chance it has to go down. So if you liked the company at the $20 range, you should love it at 14 because a lot of that risk has already been taken out. Considering the great member growth, the strong fundamentals, and the overall, great cyclical opportunity that we have with the lending product, I have to say that SoFi stock is below fair value in my opinion. This is a solid opportunity in my eyes to buy more SoFi stock from my own portfolio. This is definitely not a recommendation. I'm just some babbling buffoon on YouTube. But if you guys agree with me, if you like the video, if you want to see more, I'd appreciate a like and subscribe down below if you want to see more financial content just like this. But that's all for me today, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Stay safe trading, and I'll see you guys on the next one.